Okay, so what if you were insane enough to attempt a hardcore Nuzlocke in Pokemon Platinum with no evolutions and normal types only? You would have access to Starly, Bidoof, Aipom, Munchlax, Baniri, Cleffa, Togepi, Eevee, and Swablu. Although Lickitung is available, it used to not evolve, so it was designed with higher stats in mind, so I won't be using it. And I kind of forgot that Porygon falls under this same category, but I did just play through it anyway because I didn't realize it until later, so you'll just have to get over it. And just so you guys know, this is not a real hardcore Nuzlocke. I just love to design the strategies that someone would use in a real run through this game, and that needs to be done first before anyone even attempts something as crazy as this. And I think you'll be interested in the lengths we have to go. Only a handful of all these Pokemon are actually going to be useful for Nuzlocking through this game, and you're going to see who those Pokemon are. Alright guys, let's take a look and jump right in. Bidoof and Starly are going to be both available first before you fight Roark. Bidoof is actually more useful than you think though. It can have this simple ability and has access to Defense Curl and Amnesia. These two things pair really well together because if you set up an Amnesia, for example, with the simple ability, instead of getting +2 special defense, you get +4. With a solid HP stat too, Bidoof is gonna be the Pokemon at the beginning of the game that you can PP stall other teams with. You can set up a bunch of defense and special defense boosts and tank a bunch of hits while staying healthy with rest. But that is all Bidoof will be good for. Its speed and attack stats are horrible, and it has no way to set up attack and speed boosts anyway, so Bidoof is just going to be used as a defensive tank to PP stall Pokemon. Starly is not the most useless, but it gets outclassed pretty quick by better Pokemon. It's only good for soloing the second gym for you, the Grass Gym. But after that, I really struggled to find any use for this guy. Roark is going to require you to redo your runs a bunch of times until you get a good one, but it's not too bad. I found the best strategy would be to roll out sweep with Bidoof. So, we'll start with him here, and this Geodude will usually just Stealth Rock turn 1 because you have more than one Pokemon on your team. I'll Defense Curl up, which will double the damage of Rollout for the rest of this battle. Defense Curl will also give Bidoof +2 defense because the simple ability will double all stat changes. The weird thing about Gen 4 and the simple ability is that it doesn't actually display the double stat changes. You'll only see that the defense rose, not sharply rose here. But if you look at the damage calc, it's apparent there. It just does it behind the scenes. You don't actually see your stat changes. For this battle, ideally, you'll have to hit 8 rollouts to beat Roark. And it's not even over if you miss a rollout, but it does dramatically decrease your chances. My Bidoof's Quick Claw also can't activate while you're locked into rollout, only on the first turn you use it. So, this Quick Claw that I have here is only useful to potentially go first against Cranidos, since you'll have to lock yourself in again. Redo this run over and over until you beat Roark. It'll be okay. Aipom will come next from Honeytrees, and this is going to be your fastest and strongest physical sweeper for this entire run. Although its ability to sweep runs out early on in the game, as it has no physical setup moves to compete with other fully evolved Pokemon. But instead of becoming irrelevant, its role just changes toward the end of the game to become more of a utility mod. It can set up Substitute, Agility, Nasty Plot, and then Baton Pass it to other Pokemon, which is really useful. If you gave this Aipom max attack and max speed, max out the friendship, bring it to level 18, you can one-shot Marza's Zubat with return, and two-shot Marza's Purugly with return. Aipom will always live 2 crits from Purugly, so this battle is not a big deal. You'll be able to get your Baniri now, but with less attack than Aipom, same speed, and Access to Baton Pass and Agility, but not Nasty Plot. It's pretty much just a Walmart brand APOM and not very useful for big fights. Hoothoot is gonna have a few spot uses that you'll see later on, but Cleffa here I found to be useless for the entire game. Gardenia will be really easy and even easier if you don't have a trash Starly like I do. It has minus speed nature and only 1 attack IV. Starly with a held Skyplate can secure the kill on the Turtwig right at the start, always, but when Cherrim comes out next, it's going to live at least 1 wing attack. Since Starly always goes first versus Cherrim, it's guaranteed to kill Cherrim no matter what. But if Cherrim actually decides to use one of his damaging moves, Magical Leaf, Grass Knot, or Leech Seed, Starly won't live a crit Magical Leaf from the Roserade that comes out after. If the Cherrim does use Safeguard, Starly can tank 1 crit from Roserade at full health and can actually KO it with Wing Attack. It doesn't matter though, because if Starly isn't at full health for the Roserade fight, I have a max HP, max special defense Hoothoot as a backup. I'll switch right into it and I can fend off only 1 paralysis with a held Cherry Berry. Even if Hoothoot does get paralyzed, it's not that big of a deal, because you can see here, Magical Leaves do not do very much. And if you give your Hoothoot Pluck TM, it'll eat Roserade's Citrus Berry and further increase your chances of taking this fight. Jupiter's Zubat will die to a return from APOM, and her Stuntank will take 2 returns. You do have to bring APOM to level 25 though. If you start missing your attacks with APOM because of Skuntank Smokescreen, you can always bring a Bidoof as a backup. This one is max defense and max HP, can take a lot of hits from Stuntank, and can spam Headbutt to kill it. Eevee is available from Hearthome City, and even with 130 power Last Resorts, boosted even more by same type attack bonus and the adaptability ability, it's still really only useful for sweeping random trainer fights in the game. For Fantina, I'm going to start with APOM. I'll set up a substitute right at the beginning to be immune to Duskull's Will-O-Wisp, and Duskull is pretty weak offensively, so it can't do anything to break APOM's sub. It's going to take 2 Thieves to kill Duskull, and then Haunter is going to come out. Haunter prefers to go for Hypnosis and Confuse Ray, which are both immune to the substitute I have up. Sucker Punch is fair game though, and it can break APOM's sub if it crits, or if APOM was damaged a little bit by Duskull previously. Overall though, it doesn't matter too much if it breaks, and it'll take 2 Thieves to kill Haunter too. When Mismagius comes in, regardless if Haunter broke my sub or not, I'm going into Hoothoot. Hoothoot's first job here is to hit Mismagius with 2 plucks. This will also steal Mismagius's Citrus Berry, and Klulu can eat it for himself. I'm also going to hit Mismagius with a Foresight to allow my normal type moves to hit it. Hoothoot's bulk investment, held Persimberry for confusion, and the health gain from the stolen Citrus Berry will allow it to be really safe here. Now once that's done, I'm going to go right back into APOM. Now it doesn't matter what Mismagius does, because APOM can always live a crit Psybeam and also has a held Persimberry for the potential confusion. I can outspeed with APOM next turn and finish Mismagius with 1 return. I think this is the first and only rival fight that's going to be difficult for you, because once you get Porygon, it's so good at beating your rival. But here we go. I'll start with Hoothoot here. Hoothoot's always going to live a crit wing attack from this Staravia, and I just want it here so I can use Foresight, because Staravia loves the double team, and if you didn't know, Foresight bypasses accuracy checks, and if you use it, it's going to allow your entire team to bypass accuracy checks on a certain Pokemon if they've set up stat boost. Now I'll go into Bidoof and use Yawn, and this Yawn is always going to hit because of the Foresight. Now, after that, I'll go into APOM, Staravia will fall asleep, and I'm going to use that free 1 sleep turn from Staravia guaranteed to set up a substitute with my APOM. Now, Apom can sweep Barry's entire team with returns. The sub setup is only required to tank the Mach Punch from Inferno. Everyone else gets killed by return. Alright. Now you get Porygon, and Porygon is your ace for this run. And I know I forgot Porygon didn't evolve at some point, so it has better stats, and I'm kind of being a hypocrite. Just drop a mean comment in the comments section, and we'll move on. Porygon has a really nice special attack stat, and it has access to a wide variety of moves for special sweeping. It works really well with Apom that can set up agility and nasty plots for it to boost its solid special attack and compensate for Porygon's pathetic speed. But here's the thing, Apom doesn't get nasty plot until level 39, so we'll be doing something a little different until then with a physical Porygon. You'll see how it works out with Maylene first here. I'm going to use my Baniri first here. And Baniri's only here to stall Meditite out of Drain Punches, because Drain Punches is the only dangerous move that Meditite has, and it only has 5. That means I can only use Substitute and Protect, and I can get rid of all of them with just Baniri. Now, Meditite's out of Drain Punches, and it can't do anything to Bidoof. And on top of that, I can set up +6 special defense and +6 defense with Amnesia and Defense Girl. My simple ability, again, just making the setup happen faster. First, Meditite will spam all 25 of its confusions here, which Bidoof can easily tank. I don't care about getting confused, because if I hit myself in confusion, my high defense is going to make the confusion hit do absolutely nothing. I can use Protect whenever I want, and I can keep Bidoof healthy with Rest. Meditite cannot touch Bidoof at this point. It'll just run out of confusions, and then it'll run out of all 10 of its Rock Tombs too. At this point, Meditite only has Fake Out left. However, Fake Out will just fail every time because it only works on the first turn. Now you get to see a nice physical Porygon here, and this is because it has Sharpen, and that's going to increase its attack, and that's the only setup move any of my Pokemon have at this point in the game. And I can also set up the +6 speed with Porygon's agility. Now, Porygon can actually sweep Maylene's team with returns. That's it. This is where your Porygon is going to start killing everybody. I switched it over to a special attacker now, and it's going to get a download boost from Barry's Staravia. All you need is a Thunderbolt for Staravia. Porygon will live the Mach Punch crit from Monferno, hit him with a Psychic, hit Roselia with a Psychic, and a nice Thunderbolt for Buizel. Same kind of thing for Wake. You're going to get a download special attack boost from this Gyarados and can kill it with a Thunderbolt. Filto comes next. It's always going to go for Brine for some reason, which Porygon will always live a crit from. Then, hit it with a Thunderbolt, Quag is last, and we're just going to do a nice Solar Beam just for fun. If the previous Floatzel crit the Brine, then you might be in crit range from Quag, and you should probably consider having a backup Pokemon like me. You can sweep Barry again with Porygon, but it'll be a little different this time because his team is powered up. I'll get my special attack boost again, and I'll set up an agility turn 1 because Staraptor just likes to go for double team 95% of the time. And if it decides to go for takedown and gets a crit from it, I have a Focus Sash for that. Next turn, Porygon can hit it with a Shockwave, which will bypass any evasion boost it sets up. Heracross next dies to Psychic, and this Infernape does have Mach Punch, but it won't go for it since it has Brick Break, and I'm not in kill range right now from Mach Punch. But it's kind of an oversight I made because if Staraptor did go for takedown turn 1, I would be on low health and I could get killed by Infernape, and I didn't have a backup plan for that, so that's just an oversight by me here. So sorry. Leave another mean comment. But anyway, I'll kill Infernape with Psychic, Floatzel with Thunderbolt, and Roserade with Psychic. Alright, it's Byron time. First, I'm gonna kill the Magneton with a dig from Aipom. Then when the Steelix comes out, I'm gonna use Nasty Plot. Aipom will never die to a crit here since it's Focus Sashed. Now, I'm gonna Baton Pass the special attack boost to Porygon, who's gonna get another +1 special attack boost from its download. Porygon will always live this Earthquake crit because it is HP EV investment now, since I didn't need any speed for this battle. Even with Sandstorm damage. Next turn, I'm going to finish the Steelix with an Ice Beam. And now the big problem is here. Bastiodon. Bastiodon has insane defenses, so none of my Pokemon can one-hit KO it. It also has Metal Burst, so any damage I try to inflict on it without killing it can potentially be reflected back at double damage. Here's how we're gonna handle it. First, I'm gonna recover on Porygon until I'm out of range from Stone Edge. My goal here is just to get a trick off on it. If Bastion decides to use Taunt, and I can't get the trick off, I can go into defensive Focus Sash Baniri to reset the taunt. Once I get the trick off on Bastiodon, I'm going to take its Citrus Berry away, and this is super important, and you'll see why. Now I'm going to send the Bidoof in. Bidoof can take a potential crit from Stone Edge, and I'm going to hit it with a Yawn, and then I'm going to protect with Bidoof to ensure it goes to sleep. Now, here's my guaranteed turn that Bastiodon's gonna sleep, and I can go into Starly. I took off Starly's speed investment and kept it at level 30 intentionally, just so Starly won't outspeed the Bastiodon. I need it to be slower because I'm gonna spam Endeavor here. Bastiodon sees the kill with Stone Edge, so as soon as Bastiodon wakes up, it's gonna use it. And Stone Edge is going to get Starly down to 1 HP, and I'm going to hang on because of the Focus Sash. I decided using PP-ups on Endeavor was definitely worth it here. Just because Bastiodon can stay asleep for a lot of turns, and there's a chance that Bastiodon can miss a Stone Edge, and you can't afford to miss a turn not using Endeavor. You have to keep using it. Byron still has a potion left, so once you hit your first Endeavor, you're gonna have to do it again the next turn. Once that happens, I can follow up with a quick attack and end the battle. Now is finally the time I decided to catch my Munchlax. I wanted to see how far I would go without it before I kinda needed it. And I got pretty far, but for Snowpoint Gym, I decided to catch it. And this is because Munchlax completes the Triforce of my team. This is how they all work so well together. I can start with Munchlax, and with Munchlax's insane bulk and the ability to set up defense boosts with Defense Curl and Amnesia, he's pretty much just gonna replace Bidoof. This is how it's gonna go. Munchlax is first going to set up defense boost with Defense Curl and special defense boost with Amnesia. And it can also use Double Team too for evasion boost. And since it's so bulky, it can PP stall so many Pokemon with EV investment. Once that Pokemon is crippled and unable to do any damage or very little damage, Aipom can come in safely and set up agilities and nasty plots, and then it can baton pass it to Porygon. And then Porygon can just sweep teams with its wide move pool. Let's see this for the first time in action for Candace. First, I will start with Aipom though. It's holding an Expert Belt, which increases the power of super effective moves. I can outspeed and kill Sneasel with Brick Rake, and the Abomasnow that comes after with a Fire Punch. When Frostlass comes in, now I'm gonna go into Munchlax, and I'm just gonna try and stall it out of Psychic and Blizzard. Munchlax has Thick Fat ability, which means I take half damage from Blizzard, and I have max special defense and HP while holding leftovers. Frostlass can't touch Munchlax at all. I can use Sunny Day first with Munchlax, and then right after that, I can use Odor Sleuth, and this is going to allow my whole team to hit Froslass no matter how much evasion it sets up with Double Team. Now, once it's all stalled out of its moves and it only has Shadow Ball and Double Team left, I can go to Aipom since Shadow Ball doesn't affect it, and I go through the evasion boost because of Odor Sleuth. I'll set up 3 nasty plots for max special attack, Baton Pass it to Porygon. Now, I'll just need one more agility, and Porygon can take out the Froslass with Thunderbolt and the Pilosline with Psychic. Let's see the boys go to work again. I'm going to PP stall Cyrus's Houndoom with Munchlax here. Then I'm going to set up on it. First off, Houndoom is going to prioritize Thunderfang and getting Munchlax burnt with Will-O-Wisp. I'm not too worried about either though, and you need to remember to set up your special defense boost first before you start setting up your defense boost. This is because Houndoom is going to see Dark Pulse as its more effective move and start going for Dark Pulse early on, and those crit flinches will hurt badly and put your Munchlax in danger. You can set up defense boost, but just make sure your special defense boosts are outpacing the defense boost. Once Houndoom has used up all of its Thunder Frags, it's going to start alternating between Dark Pulse and Flamethrower. You'll probably be at max special defense at this point. You're never really in any danger, even with the occasional flinch or crit from Dark Pulse. Munchlax can protect too sometimes and stay healthy with rest and leftovers. Once Houndoom only has one Will-O-Wisp, you go into Aipom. I actually screwed this up here and counted wrong, so Houndoom struggles here, but just don't make that mistake. Aipom has defense investment now to prevent it from dying to struggle crits from Houndoom. Porygon only needs 2 nasty plots from my Aipom and I'll Baton Pass. Now I need to set up an agility here, and I'm only risking a crit here from Honchkrow because of the mistake I made earlier with the Will-O-Wisp, so if you don't make that mistake, you'll be safe here. You don't need to risk any crits. And from here, Porygon can just sweep the whole team. I have a Magnet equipped only to guarantee the kill on the Weavile in the back, and there we go. Volkner's Jolteon is going to continue to use Thunder Wave over and over again since it sees that I'm faster than it and it can't kill me in one hit. So, while it's doing that, I can set up a substitute to be immune and get myself all the way to max speed and max special attack. Then, we'll send it over to Porygon. Porygon is going to use Psychic 4 times, and that's it. Well, this is the last time we fight Barry. I'm going to get a special attack boost from download, and I'll set up an agility on it while it uses close combat. My Focus Sash will guarantee that I live the hit. Now I can kill Staraptor with Thunderbolt, Heracross with Psychic, Infernape with Psychic, and then Floatzel comes in and is Aqua Jet, so I'm not staying in. I'll just go into a defensive Munchlax. Now Munchlax can just set up to max defense and max special defense while I stay cautious against Floatzel's Brick Break. Once I'm set up, I can just spam Body Sim over and over until the Floatzel, Snorlax, and Roserade are all gone. Togepi is finally in the squad, and it's only going to do one thing for me, and that's it, you'll see. And all these Pokemon, they just had their own lives behind the scenes, their own IVs and natures. You know, they just wanted to be something when they grew up too. And here they are at the Elite Four. All the boys have come so far, so we'll see what happens. I also only need these 4 Pokemon for the entire Elite Four, and Togepi is going to be used right now at the beginning for Aaron, and you'll never see it again. Togepi is trained with max special defense and HP, so Yanmega is not going to go for special moves since it sees that U-turn is a better option. Yanmega prefers to do U-turn, but it's not guaranteed. It also likes to set up double team, so I'm just going to spam Yawn actually. I don't care if it misses or if I put Yanmega to sleep, I'm only trying to catch Yanmega using U-turn on a turn that Togepi yawns. Because if I do, it's always going to go into Heracross and I can get Heracross drowsy. Then I protect the next turn and Heracross is going to go to sleep. Now I only have one free turn to get my Aipom in, guaranteed. Then the next turn I can outspeed and just barely kill Heracross with a quad effective Aerial Ace boosted with Sky Plate. Vespiquen's in now and it's gonna get abused. I'm going to go into defensive Munchlax who pretty much walls Vespiquen. I'll just set up all my defense and special defense boosts while it wastes all of its attacks. Vespiquen will eventually run out of all of its attacking moves, which are just Power Gem in attack order. Once it starts to spam heal order at full health or defend order, that's the time to go into Aipom. I can set up max speed, max special attack, Baton Pass it to Porygon, and there's the sweep right there. Okay, let's get a closer look at this again. Since Whiscash isn't very offensive, Munchlax is able to PB stall it. Watch out for Aqua Tails at the beginning of the stall and focus on double team and healing off the Aqua Tail damage. Aqua Tail crits don't do too much, but Whiscash will always set up Sandstorms that will nullify your leftovers recovery. But he only has 10 of them, so once the Aqua Tail's out, pretty much win. Get all your boosts, and just wait until Whiscash struggles or only has Sandstorm left. Then I go into my Aipom, set up only 2 Nasty Plots and 1 Agility, that's all you need. Send it to Porygon and none of Bertha's Pokemon will stand in the way, they all die to Ice Beam. Yeah, we've seen Houndoom already and we know what we're gonna do to it. Munchlax walls it completely, and even worth Amnesia and Evasion boost. Not much to say, get your boosts up, rest if you need to, wait until it struggles, then go into Aipom, set up 2 Nasty Plots and 1 Agility, send it to Porygon. Porygon will kill the rest of Flint's team with Thunderbolt, and you're gonna want to have that magnet to ensure the kill on Magmortar and Flareon. Lucian's Mr. Mime only has Psychic and Thunderbolt as its attacking move, so obviously this gets walled by Munchlax. We can PP stall it with Munchlax, wait until Mr. Mime only has Light Screen and Reflect left, then that's it. We go into Aipom, we get our boosts, we send him over to Porygon, and we sweep Lucian's team. Cynthia's Spiritomb will be the last victim. Munchlax can stall it out until it only has Shadow Ball, which doesn't affect my normal types, so Aipom can be completely immune. I'll set up, get my boosts, and sweep the rest of Cynthia's team with Porygon. This is definitely a run that can be done for real. And to be honest, you're gonna have to EV train your Pokemon for this. So it's a little easier if you're not putting the items in your game, and you're also gonna have to reset EVs for certain battles if you use these strategies. So that means grinding for the EV barriers, and they're not the easiest to get. So it depends. You want to cheat this stuff in, this run is going to take much less time, but if you don't, this run will just take you way too long. It's probably not worth doing if you're not going to get your EVs straight, or you're not going to cheat items into the game. It just takes so much time. But some people have done this sort of insanity in their runs before, so there are definitely people out there that have the mental capacity to do a run like this over and over again and spend so much time. But, alright, just leave a like and a comment, drop a subscribe, ring the doorbell, and don't forget to leave a nice comment. And like the comment too. I'll see you next time.